This is for both of you. Steph and Caitlin, you talked before the game about needing to take leadership on this team and kind of take control of the team. What do you feel like you guys did that better today, and what else do you need to do going forward to make sure that gets done?
I mean, I think early in the first quarter and second quarter, no one could breathe, so no one could talk with the pace we were playing at. No one could breathe, so no one could talk with the pace we were playing at. And also, like, just the nerves and the excitement of the game. I'm not going to speak for Kels, but it was for them, too. Jose was yelling at them to keep running. I'm like, Jose, I don't know if either of us can keep running, but...
What did I tell you in the middle of the huddle? I was like, I'm tired.
But, no, I mean, that's the pace you want to play with. I think we can try to communicate a little bit better through that. I think, just talking a little bit earlier, communicating a little bit earlier, we can always improve in that area, especially us three, me, Kelsey, and AB. So we'll continue to work on that, but I think we did a decent job tonight.
Did you hear that, Fever Nation? Did you hear that, Fever Nation? The Fever were out of shape. They didn't come into this game fully prepared to play the pace that they wanted to play. Now, the players say they can fix that, and I believe them. But that is the coach's job, to make sure your players are in adequate shape. Now, as I was looking at the training camp, and they weren't showing everything, they were just showing a little bit, but they was doing the sprints across the floor, not up and down the floor, not the 94, but across the floor. They were going at like half speed. And I was thinking, you're not preparing your body for the workload you're going to put on it in the next game, the first game. You have to tell your body, you have to practice in a way that your body is prepared for the workload you're about to place on it. That part is on coaching. Now, there were some other things that the Fever can clean up. You know my metrics, Fever Nation. Missed free throws, missed layups, and turnovers. Missed free throws, missed layups, and turnovers. And later, we're going to talk about the Fever's secret weapon and how this secret weapon can possibly save this team, save this season, and possibly save Stephanie White a job. Well, Fever Nation, let's look at the things that the team could have controlled. We'll talk about Stephanie White maybe in another video. I don't want to belabor you all with Stephanie White this video, so bear with me. If you look at the column from the top to bottom, at FT, now scroll down to the bottom with your own eyes and look at the 17 of 21. 17 of 21. That's 4 free throws the Fever missed during this game that could have changed the outcome. That's 4 free throws. That's rather than having to take the last shot to tie the game, they could be up 1 point with Dallas taking the last shot to go for the win. That's the difference when you take care of the factors, my metrics that I always talk about. When you take care of these factors, you give yourself the best opportunity to win. The Fever were in control of these factors. Your free throws are something that you are in control of. Going to that line is just you and that basket. Taking that ball up in your hands, taking that deep breath, and letting it go is up to the player at the line. That's something that is within the player's control. That has nothing to do with Stephanie White. These are the factors that the Fever could have controlled to put this game back into their favor. Well, now let's look at the next metric, Fever Nation, turnovers. If you look at, again, at this same graph, start from the top to bottom, the column that says TO. And now scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to see the number 14. That's 14 times the Fever brought the ball down the floor, and because of a turnover or a violation or a steal or something didn't go right, they did not get the ball up. They didn't get a shot on basket. And this is critical in a 3-point game like this. These possessions are critical. These are very critical possessions. You have to take care of the ball. These are things that are within the player's control. I'm not going to talk about Stephanie White this video. I could, but I don't want to draw the ire of Fever Nation during this video. I want to point out some things the players can control. Okay, I'm not bailing out White because White has her own issues, but that's not going to help the team win games. The team know who and what they're dealing with in Coach White. You have to play in spite of. They have to play better. They have to play so good that they're winning in spite of the factors that may be standing against them with the head coach and the front office. Okay, so now if you look at this game, the Fever field goal percentage was somewhere in the neighborhood of what was they? Free throws, points. They shot what 7 and 20. They shot almost 30% from the three. I have to scroll over to look at the next statistic. But main thing I want to point out in this segment is turnovers. You have to take care of the ball. You have to take care of the ball. And when you're playing against good teams like this, I'm gonna tell you what shocked me in this game was Arika Ogunbowale. Normally, when the ball goes in, it doesn't come out. She's like a black hole. Her up into this season. So coaching makes a difference. This new coach has gotten Arika to understand you can't do it all by yourself. She's sharing the ball. Now, when I said, well, my first thought was when Arika comes back, she's going to be jacking up the ball a lot. That's going to take a lot of shots away from Paige Beckers. So Paige is not going to get the looks she normally got during the preseason when Arika comes back. But when I saw her getting off the ball like she did and playing a more controlled game, I was like, uh-oh, Paige is going off. And Arika hadn't even got into her rhythm yet. You know when Arika gets in a rhythm, it's lights out. You remember the All-Star game in Caitlin's rookie year? She shot lights out. She's a streak shooter. When she starts hitting that shot from outside, there is no defense for that. She's unguardable. And you saw that crossover step back she did on Caitlin. That nobody can stop that. But when I saw her taking that shot under control, and not because she could, I said, uh-oh, this is going to be a different game. The Fever are going to have to play a lot better than I thought they would need to play to win. Okay, let's put a button on this turnover factor. What I wanted to say was, if you scroll down from the field goal, you see the Fever was 40 of 77. That's a 52%. So now if you take the 14 turnovers and cut that in half, because they shot 50, let's say 50% from the field. So you take the total number of turnovers and divide that by their shooting percentage. That's 7 times. You can't take all 14. You can't say they would have scored on all 14 trips if they'd got the ball up. So let's look at the number of times that they can take advantage of, and that's how you get 7 which is the half of 14. That's 7 times the Fever could have got a shot on basket. Why is this important? Because when you get to layups, you all are going to see this game could have been a blowout. First of all, you got 4 missed free throws. That's a 1-point lead with going into the last seconds of this game. You have 14 turnovers. That's and shooting 52% from the field. That's at least 7 trips they could have came down the floor and scored a 2 or a 3, a combo, however you want to put it. So let's just say that could have been a 6 or 7 point lead. I'm not going to blow it out of the water. I'm just saying that could have been a 6 or 7 point lead. And now you bring in missed layups. Fever Nation, I counted 8 missed layups between all of the players. 8 missed layups. Now those are controllable factors. That is for sure 16 points. 16 points that the Fever left on the table. Now you're talking about what? That's 22 more points that the Fever could have had. Instead, it could have been a 107-126 outcome if the Fever just takes care of these 3 metrics. Now, without further ado, I don't want to belabor because I said they have a secret weapon. And you know who that is? Justine Pissott. Now, you know, because of a coach's decision, and this is where I fought Stephanie White. Now I want to talk about Stephanie White. She brought Kimbrough and Taisha Harris and put them on the roster. Kimbrough didn't even play today. She didn't even log any minutes in this game. So, and you signed her. You put Pissott on a player development contract, and you signed one player that was injured in Harris, hadn't played in 11 months. You don't know what she can do, and she did not look good at all. And I'm not going to put all of that on her. I'm putting that on Stephanie. Stephanie, if you want to save this season and possibly save your job, you better get Pissott on the active roster. She spreads the floor. She presents so many more problems for the defense. When she comes on the floor with Caitlin, AB, Kelsey, and either a combination of her and KK or her and one of the other forwards, either I would bring her in. If you're going to bench Sophie, then you got to bring her in behind Lexi if she comes out. You got to get this girl on the floor with CC. She's going to open up the floor. Whoever guards her, it can't be a guard. She'll shoot right over him. It has to be a forward. Therefore, you're taking a big out from under the basket. You're taking a rebounder away from the basket because she can hit the deep three. She was the best shooter in the SEC. And she proved that against the Liberty. She shot lights out. That's why you didn't play her for the last 2 games. You were trying to keep her a secret. Now it's trying to let the secret out of the bottle. Let the genie out of the bottle, and let's get this season back to 500 Wednesday, and let's get back on track. Well, that's all I have for you, Fever Nation. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.